Hello and welcome back to the Pitwall Podcast, where this week we're going to be predicting the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah, and I'm really excited. I love this track, whale track, baby. So even though it's the home of Red Bull and it's always kind of nuts, there's nothing that I enjoy more than Lewis Hamilton spoiling Red Bull's weekend at this track. So it doesn't happen very often, though. So before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow at the Pitwall Pod. And for the Austrian Grand Prix, this is going to be the 43rd Austrian Grand Prix held for the first time in 1963. The most wins by any driver is Max Verstappen with 4. And then the most wins for constructors is Ferrari with 7. Also, McLaren hasn't won here since 2001. Which I find interesting.
That is interesting.
And may or may not have something to do with my predictions. Like I said, sprint race. So, Dawson, who do you think is going to be on sprint pole for this weekend?
I think Max is because, I mean, I think this is like his track. It's meant for Red Bull. Honestly, the straight speed is just Red Bull.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Max easy.
I disagree. I am taking a very interesting approach for this.
Okay.
I think this is not going to be a good weekend for Red Bull.
Really?
Not like a terrible. I mean, it depends on what you think is terrible. But I think sprint pole is going to go to Lando. This is one of Lando's best track. Before he won Miami, people would have argued that it's his best track. And I mean, he didn't get P2 here, but he's consistently gotten really a lot of podiums.
Yeah.
His first podium was here.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be a sprint pole, and I think the curbs are pretty harsh on this track, and I think that's going to be Red Bull's demise.
Oh, okay.
So
it's gonna be Checo's for sure. But
I think it's going to be close. Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and say it since you said it. I'm predicting a Checo Perez disaster class at Red Bull's home race.
Okay, check that off for both of us.
I think it's going to be like embarrassing for Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like the Red Bull being bad at Red Bull. Like there's going to be a story in Drive to Survive where Checo's like getting out of his car and in the background you see Red Bull ringing in the shot. Like it's like a black eye for Red Bull because of Checo.
Yeah.
So that's my like official prediction for Checo. So who do you think is going to be on the podium? Give me just P3 for sprint.
I'm actually going to do P1 first.
Oh, you're going to do P1 first?
Yes,
all right.
because my P3 is going to shock you.
All right. Fair enough.
So P1 is going to be Max.
All right.
P2, Lando.
All right.
P3 is Nico Hulkenberg.
What? Oh my God! What?
Just hear me out,
for the sprint.
Sprint. This is not the race.
I'm gonna need a minute. All right, and tell me how you think a Haas and Nico Hulkenberg combined.
Because if at any race something goes wrong with the major teams, it's this track.
Okay.
And I think Nico Hulkenberg is talented enough, skilled enough to pull it out. Okay, and get a P3 in the sprint.
How does this go down? Like, I need specifics.
Okay. Hold up. Let me pull up last year's, okay?
Good Lord. Okay, I thought you were going to say Lewis Hamilton or something.
No.
I was like, well, that's a risk.
No.
Well, while you're doing that,
Yeah.
let me just say my sprint pole is Lando, but because of my belief in Lando sucking at starting a pole, I think Max is going to win the sprint.
Okay.
Lando's going to be P2, and P3 is going to be Lewis Hamilton. I think we're going to start seeing this similar thing on tracks where Ferrari is weak. So that's my 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay. I think Ferrari's going to crap the bed
this weekend.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
I think that, and also Checo, at least half of Red Bull is. I completely agree with you on that.
Ferrari disaster class.
Yes.
And Checo disaster class.
I think Mercedes is going to be good for the race. I think they're going to be
okay for the sprint.
Yes, I think they're going to be like P4, P5.
Here's my other thing before you get into this. So the
Yes.
reason I put Lewis Hamilton on the sprint podium is because, and I'm not saying he's not on my actual podium, but Mercedes is always better on Friday. It just keeps happening. I think they will qualify for the sprint better on Friday.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So thus Lewis ends up on sprint pole. I think this is a pretty educated guess. I just got to say.
I also qualifying plays into the fact. I think something's going to happen for I mean, Aston Martin don't have to worry about. Ferrari, like I said, don't have to worry about. Mercedes is like the only thing that could change this, I think, and McLaren. But I think it'd be Lando specifically. Okay.
I can't believe this, but you're kind of swaying me. Slowly. Keep going.
Hulkenberg is talented. He has convinced me, okay? Because seeing him outperform consistently, like these teams that are supposed to be better than a Haas, I think something's gonna happen. I don't know what like more of this is like thinking like, okay, this team's not gonna do well. I know that. This team's not gonna do well. I know that. This team's not gonna do well. I know that.
How did you end up here?
Hulkenberg.
Okay.
Hulkenberg is just
he's sitting there waiting.
He's kin.
Dude,
okay.
That would be I don't even know what to think of that.
Yeah.
You're gonna seem like a genius if this happens.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know.
Do you remember when Magnussen got P1?
I will give you 5 points if this happens.
Do you remember when Magnussen got P1 at
Brazil?
You know what I'm talking. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think that's gonna happen?
I think it's gonna be like a shock. It's not P1, obviously. I think he's gonna podium on the sprint. Race is completely different. I don't think race pace is I don't think an entire race is gonna hold up for Haas. But a sprint, there's a chance.
I'm serious about this. If this happens and you predict he has to be P3 though. If he's P2 or 1,
no, that's fine.
I will give you 5 points to our game. It's only a half point technically, so I'll give you 5 and you'll get 5.5 points.
Okay.
You're really behind too.
Yeah.
But also, I just think that would be an insane prediction.
Yeah.
Like you ought to get something for that.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go that risky at all. But I thought we're gonna get in a big argument about the curbs and stuff because I said like Max is because Lando can't start, so Max is gonna win the sprint. But that was I'm impressed. You're impressed. Welcome. And you know what? I was looking at his finishing places as you were talking, and I was like,
you can see it.
I can see it.
Yep.
I can see it. My only flaw is the duration of the race might be a little too long.
Yeah. Of the sprint?
If it was like 9 laps, I think you could pull it off. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It would hard for me to see. It would hard for me to believe, unless Mercedes crashed into each other, that both of them finished behind him in that amount of time.
That's fair.
But
that's what I said. Like,
it's a risk.
That's why I said like Mercedes. This is the one team I feel like could like really change that.
But if Fernando nukes to Mercedes or something, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it could happen.
Somehow Stroll makes it into Q3 and like just like completely takes them out of the race.
One day Stroll is just going to hit Max finally and give us all what we needed. So, all right. Well, I'm guessing your race is going to be much more tame.
Yes, it will be.
Who's pole for race?
Okay, pole is going to be Max.
All right. You
Podium,
want to start P3 this time?
Yeah. P3 is going to be Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
Then Lando Norris for P2, and then Max P1.
Okay. So.
And I also just predicted that like Checo doesn't make it out of Q1.
Out of Q1?
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope that's true. That'd be so funny. I'm just enjoying this. I mean, I feel bad because it's like a real human being.
Yeah.
But it's a sport. It's just.
Lance Stroll is a human being.
That's debatable.
Latifi was a human being.
Oh, we love Go Tiffy. P3, I have Lewis Hamilton. Oh, I have Max on pole. Yeah. So I had Lando for pole in the sprint.
Yeah.
I have Max for pole in the race. Mm-hmm. But I think McLaren's race pace is better, but I think Lando's bad at starting.
Yeah.
So in the sprint, Lando's P2. In the race, Lando wins. He finally, we get the script that happens again where Lando's hunting him down, but he actually gets him this time.
Okay.
Because McLaren finally pulled their stuff together and actually put together a strategy that could actually beat. P2 Max Verstappen and P3 Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
So that would be a wild podium. Just saying, for Lando to genuinely beat Lewis and Max like this. I mean, he genuinely beat Lewis and Max before.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like, it's the Red Bull ring. That would be like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Going into Silverstone where we kind of have no idea which car is going to be the best. This one, I feel like it's McLaren or Red Bull. It's like, are the curbs too much for Red Bull?
Yeah.
Yes or no? That's pretty much it. So anyway, that's my mix up is like, I think it'll be a flip flop back and forth.
Gotcha.
So Lando gets a second win. Selfishly, I don't want that to happen because I like saying that I was at Lando's. But yeah, so I think that's about it. Any other crazy predictions?
No, I think I did enough. With
I think so. So to review, Ferrari and Checo are going to have a terrible weekend, and Haas is going to get
Mercedes is not going to hold it together during the sprint for me.
See, I think it's the other way around.
Okay.
I almost didn't put Lewis on the podium for the race, but I just started thinking I don't think Piastri's going to beat him.
Okay.
For some reason. We'll see. I'm really excited. Sprint race weekend going into all this craziness is just great. Yeah. So, and I'm really excited for Silverstone. So I'm just so hopeful. There's a lot of reasons why I might not get to watch Silverstone until later in that day.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that means Lewis is going to win. I know that makes no sense, but we're not going to do a predictions video for that. So I'm going to predict it now that Lewis wins Silverstone.
Okay.
Hear me out. Okay. I'm not going to be able to watch it for the whole day. Doesn't it sound like the thing that would happen?
Oh, yeah, for
is
sure.
that Lewis wins and I get it spoiled for me?
Yeah, for sure. You have to turn your phone off.
See,
or you turn it on.
See, I might be on a plane that day. That's a whole long story.
Oh, okay.
So I might not. Maybe I can be in airplane mode.
Yes.
Or if I'm not, my parents are there that day and we're renovating my house. It's a whole situation.
Okay.
So I might not be able to watch it until that night.
Gotcha.
So it's gonna be. And that's the other thing. My parents are Red Bull fans, so I can't go absolutely crazy in front of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like I'm just have to be like, yes. I mean, I'll probably still cry, but anyway.
Yeah, you should scream and cry for sure.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay, good.
All right, I'll record it probably.
Yeah, you need to. I think we have all of your crazy.
I forget about it every time. Kendra's always ready.
She's ready, yeah.
Because I'm just
if she knows that Mercedes is gonna do well, she's like she got it prepped.
Everything goes out. It's like I see the TV and then there's a void. There's a void. Like you could walk up to me and be like, "Your car's on fire," and I'd be like,
Hamilton. He's close.
Fine. He's fine. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you not for Silverstone. We'll see you after Silverstone for that, which I'll be wearing Silverstone merch from because I brought it from last year. I have not worn it once because I don't want to ruin it.
Oh yeah,
this literally hasn't even been washed. It's just hanging up in my closet. All right, we'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.